Well, good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the Sultan. A little bit later this morning. I was up quite late last night on Richard Cooper's show. If you haven't seen that show, you want to tune into it. I revealed a few things about myself that I have never revealed on this channel. You might enjoy it, you might not. Interesting, though. Richard is a good interviewer and a faithful friend. Let's get started. It was funny last night. He said, "How cold is it where you are?" I said, "It's about 28 degrees. And I was shivering. He said it was -8 where he is in the greater Toronto area. Everything is relative. You might think you're cold, but somebody is colder somewhere else. Interesting, right? I saw a brilliant thread this morning on Twitter, and I just retweeted part of it. And then you came along and completely flipped her moral compass upside down in a single night. You have to read it. The person who tweeted that is at ForkMaster15. In 1975, they were an Ohio rock band. They were in Pittsburgh at the 2001 club. Their fans wanted them to play more dance music. As they were starting their second set, the drummer said to Rob Parisi, the lead guitarist and singer, he said, "Hey, play some funky music, white boy." He stopped and wrote that phrase down on a bar order pad. Wild Cherry was on their way back to Cleveland. Rob was listening to the Ohio Players' song Fire, and then conceived the beat, the rhythm, and the tongue-in-cheek lyrics of Play That Funky Music, one of the biggest selling singles and most played dance songs of all time. Now you know the rest of the story. Imagine living yourself as a house. You're a house. You thought you were going to be a decent little cottage, but he was building a palace. C.S. Lewis. You cannot get a cup of tea big enough or a book long enough to suit me. C.S. Lewis. In times of chaos, people always flock to the bearded person. When I coach you, I don't want to talk about your past. We've been doing that for decades and decades. Where has that gotten you and society? I want to talk about your future. The sound of a tractor in a field is better than the sound of lawnmowers, weed whackers, and leaf blowers in suburbia. Oil lamp, candlelight, the warmth and light of fire is amazing, primitive, and amazing. Nothing like the sound of a horn section in a band. I love a good horn section. And then somebody replied, and I love this. And if you know who wrote these lyrics that this gentleman responded with, they don't give a damn about any trumpet playing band. It ain't what they call rock and roll. If you know who wrote that and what song that's from, put it down below. Two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Also, if two lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? Ecclesiastes 4. Sometimes you want to get higher, and sometimes you gotta start low. Ted Nugent, Stranglehold, 1975. Lord, forgive me for making telemarketers want to quit their jobs. When she says she's moving in another direction, is evasive, wants to think things over, has long periods of silence, needs space, is not calling you, is not texting you, that means she's already been with another man. One hand is already on the next branch. She's getting ready to swing, guys. Don't forget that. Or I should say, forget that to your peril. You don't need to interpret that. That's what that means. Does anyone here know a marriage that porn played a role in its demise? I'm talking to someone now where that happened. Apparently the end of their marriage was because of pornography. I'm not sure of the details, but that's all they told me. And I think I might interview them. Porn never appealed to me. I have seen a few things and it just doesn't work for me. It doesn't flip a switch or turn me on or anything. I actually start feeling sorry for the people in it. That was my first reaction. I felt sorry. I think the first porn thing that I ever saw was a woman getting it in every orifice and with her hands. She was getting it in every direction. And then everybody just made her look like a melted candle at the end of it. And I felt compassion for the actor. And I thought, like, it wasn't sexy, it wasn't a turn on. I just felt bad for the person. I'm like, how low or how degenerate or how lost can a person be to do that? And I'm not saying it from a righteous, I'm better than you point of view. My natural reaction was compassion. It wasn't even shock. I felt sorry, sympathy for the actress. Anyways, it never appealed to me, so I lack the understanding of what it does to a marriage if one partner discovers that the other partner is watching porn, and of course the one partner is opposed to it or offended by it. What does it do to a marriage? I don't have insight into that. If you experienced it or know someone who has, please explain down below. I honestly would like to see what your insight is on that. Thank you ahead of time. I hardly know any other writer who seems to be closer or more continually close to the Spirit of Christ himself. And that was C.S. Lewis, speaking of George MacDonald. Is anyone familiar with George MacDonald? Just hearing that quote makes me want to look him up and look at his writing. Also, too, G.K. Chesterton. I would like to look into his writings, which I haven't read. I've seen quotes, but I haven't read anything extensive by him. If you have, please put a comment down below and let me know what would be a good recommendation for me to read. The only woman without a past is Eve. Oh my God, I discovered the most amazing sports drink. It's amazing and it's affordable. It's called water. Those chocolate fountain things at buffets, disgusting and gross. I wonder how many fingers are put into that. Spray some luminol and put a black light on it, and that thing's going to glow like a lighthouse. A virtual DNA fountain, I guarantee. The key to effective communication is sincerity. And once you learn to fake that, you've got it made. Excuse me, I can't dance right now because I'm paying the fiddler. Some of you will get that. The most important thing in life is to stop saying I wish and start saying I will. Consider nothing impossible, then treat possibilities as probabilities. Charles Dickens. I'm going to be a guest on a TV show soon. I'll let you know when that is. A friend, mentor, fellow stylist, TV show host friend is going to be having me on her show called Renaissance Living. And I'll let you know when that is, when that can be replayed and when it's going to be live. It's not the employees that you fire that give you the most trouble. It's the ones you don't fire. Emotions follow actions. That way, when you act first, you get an opportunity to create your emotional state rather than letting it randomly happen to you or just rolling the dice. Never live life or love solely based upon emotions. Emotions can be your best friend or your worst enemy. The beauty of Stoicism. Practical Stoicism. The stable Stoic. But I don't have the courage. Well, it doesn't work that way. You do it first, and then you get the courage. Many successful people were crapping themselves when they were just beginning. You just didn't know it. And I felt the need to tell you that again. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Be comfortable and okay with uncertainty, because that's what keeps you from moving forward. I decided yesterday I'm going to start a new workout. I already work out. I'm going to start a new workout doing 5 exercises and only 5. I'm not doing the circuit anymore at Planet Fitness. There's a gym near me that I'm going to be doing a special workout with. I'm going to be doing deadlifts, a type of squat, more of a dumbbell squat rather than putting a bar on my back or a bar in the front. They're going to be dumbbell squats. So squats, deadlifts, pull-ups, military presses, and what was the other one? There was 5 that I'm going to do. Compound exercises. Squats, presses, deadlifts, pull-ups. There's one more, I wrote it down. For overall body strength. And I'm going to do that all winter until spring. And then actually start concentrating on body parts again. I really need overall body strength. I look great now. I mean, if I rip my shirt off right now, I look really good. Everything is like nice and rounded and uplifted and puffy, you know what I mean? I have a little bit of a swollen look. It looks good. My waist is small. It feels good. I have to learn to kind of, after years of having my stomach kind of protruding from my rib cage, I have to learn to suck it in and just practice keeping those muscles in a little bit more. But my goal is to be, I don't want to say shredded or ripped by next summer, but I've never been ripped or shredded, so maybe I'll try it. I don't know. I gotta figure out what that 5th exercise is. Hold on, it's driving me nuts. Okay, I figured it out. Bench press. How did I forget that? So, squat, deadlift, military press, chin-ups, and bench press. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine the squats with military press. So I'm going to be starting out with my dumbbells, probably 20-pound dumbbells. like this, and squat down low. I like doing very low squats. I like getting down as low as I can where my butt is almost touching the ground. Come up, and when I come up, press. Come back down, and then squat down. Come back up. So it's going to be hitting both of those areas with the same exercise, because I am just not into going to the gym. I don't want to be a gym rat. I don't want to be in the gym every day. Not interested in that. And maybe some of you guys who are more advanced in that can help me out. You got to realize I'm closer to 60 than 50. And my goal is to just be strong, practical strength. And then I'll start sculpting the body, which is what I've been doing. The body looks good, but I don't have an overall body strength, and that's really what I'm working on, a practical strength. Something fell and rolled underneath the refrigerator. I want to be able to grab that refrigerator and roll that thing out so I can clean behind. It's a practical strength. Carry something heavy upstairs. Push a car out of the snow that's stuck. You can be incredible looking, but not have the practical strength. And I find for me, practical strength and flexibility is more important than anything. It's even more important than looking good. But I'll tell you this is what I found out to be true, is that, all right, now the weight is pretty much gone. I only have a few more pounds to go as far as my weight goal. Blood pressure down, testosterone up naturally. I'm not shooting myself in the ass with anything. I take vitamin D, that's it. No metformin, no medication, everything is good. Heartbeat is good, just everything is good. Feel good. Mentally clear, clarity is just incredible. I sleep like a baby, man. I just my head hits the pillow, boom, I'm gone. Sexually, like a 25-year-old man. Zero issues. Zero. Healthy as can be. Healthier than most people for my age, I should say. I would say I'm healthier than most people that are 30 years old. Even though I look my age, that's one of my superpowers, is that I look older, but I certainly don't feel and perform older. That's kind of a cool thing. But I want to start building up my full body strength. Super important, because there's a vulnerability that I have in my back that drives me nuts, where like the first snow of the season, I'll be out there shoveling and just turn the wrong way, and all of a sudden I'll just feel like something snap or pull, and that will me up for like 2 months. And I hate that. I've done things where I've lifted a box and lifted it the right way, using my legs and the whole thing, and messed something up, and it hurt. And it's that same spot that just jacks me up all the time. And I just want that overall body strength. So if you have any ideas about what I should do, there was a guy who owned a gym near me, and he was a physical therapist. And some of his exercises were absolutely incredible. And he's the guy that I learned to not do crunches, not do sit-ups, not do laying down leg lifts. He's the guy that taught me how to get on the Roman chair and raise my knees up. And I'll do 20 coming up, 20 to the side, 20 to the side. And it got to the point where I was doing about 100 reps. I just felt my core strengthening up really, really nicely and looking good too. But I also found out for midsection, you have to think about it. If you just constantly just by default, allow your stomach to go beyond your rib cage, you're training your stomach, you're training yourself to have a belly. And I'm finding that keeping it, like right now, when I'm sitting down, it's easy to just kind of let it go, protrude. And I'm not fat at all, but I feel like I have a little bit of a belly here. So what I'm doing is I'm taking that area in my, like I would say around my belly button, and sucking. See what happened? Watch this. See what happened? It's lifting up everything else. And I'm not flexing or anything. I'm just like bringing it in and holding it there. And I have to get into that practice. So, well, that's about it for today. Thank you so much. If you have something to contribute, please put it down below. I appreciate it. I want the best for you. Let's talk about your future and not the past, because that's what matters. I'll see you on tomorrow's Daybreak. Cheers, my friends.